Science guy.
Heck yeah. Legendary.
Of course.
Everybody riot, organized chaos, nobody quiet. We gon' try a seance. Communication and communion with the world's greatest icon. Station as a human, yet he's listening to my song. I've joined this that no nigga with the bass and the bang, make it do yo. Hit you with the five elements like five elephants. Let him know I'm relevant. I'm heaven sent, telling him we're from a whole nother galaxy. I'm actually born from this.
All right, and we are here. It's the round table. It is November 19th, 2019, and we are live on HamiltonRadio.net, channel HR2. I almost forgot the fucking date. Holy shit. Anyways, guys, I am your host, as always, John Brecco. Unfortunately, Abby could not make it tonight. She ended up getting sick at work, got rushed to urgent care. And yeah, we are still on the air. We are here as we have been for the last almost 2.5 years. And this time we got Zack DuBois of The Sacred calling in. I hope I pronounced that right.
It's all good. They pronounce it that way in the South, but if you want to know, it's Dubois.
It's DuBois?
Yes, sir.
You French motherfucker. How you feeling?
Oh, you know, Frenchie. Frenchie as always.
Yeah, buddy. All right, and I'm glad you're feeling Frenchy tonight, man. So, I guess to start, tell me a little bit about your band, how you came up in music, how the band got together, all that jazz.
Well, let's see. Let's try and cliff note you 17 years of my life in a matter of just a few minutes to not bore the piss out of everybody.
You can go as long as you want. I don't care. I could give a shit, man.
Well, so I grew up around music. My dad has been in the industry on and off. Mainly he worked for Gibson Guitars and Kramer Guitars, building guitars. He's done like road work with Johnny Paycheck and a bunch of people. So music's always kind of been around. So to like briefly sum up for you for my upbringing, mainly because of my dad, we always had a studio. We always had somewhere around to, play anything at any hour. That was like the main goal of any house we found between when I was living in Freehold and Manalapan and all over there, and then even when I moved down to Nashville in '01, and even back when I moved back to Jersey in 2013, and then back here. I've been back and forth a few times. But
it happens, man.
Yeah, so long story short, when I was 12, my dad brought a drum kit home from a store here called World Music Nashville, and he was in a cover band at the time, and all my friends were musicians, and I was the black sheep athlete, weirdly enough, how the tables turn when you move to Music City like that, And so I kept seeing just all these phenomenal musicians that were like 11, 12, 13 years old, like slaying it on the drums and guitar, just blowing my mind, and I was like, man, I don't want to be left out. I want to fit in.
Yeah.
And drums was there. And another sidebar to kind of, go along with this story here. When I was in 7th grade, I had a assignment for one of my classes to find out my namesake, which is who I found out, Zakk Wylde from Ozzy Osbourne and Black Label Society. So that pretty much was a big game changer for me, too. Ironically, though he's a guitarist, I went drums, but I still just absolutely loved that I was named after such a rock star like Zakk and one of Jersey's own,
Very true.
And so I started spelling my name Z-A-K-K. I started playing drums. I just started following the music path, and then I played my first performance when I was 15 at that shop here in town, World Music Nashville. They do lessons and stuff, and a buddy of mine from middle and high school needed someone to fill in on a song they were doing by Metallica, and I had just finished playing one of my last games for my hockey team I was playing for, and went right to the place, played that song, and pretty much the rest was history. I put down the gear, picked up the sticks permanently, and it's been 15-year journey pursuing it ever since.
I can imagine it's always a wild ride when you go pick up music, comedy, anything where you get on stage. It's always a wild ride, and it's always a fucking journey and a half, and you never know where it's gonna lead. So I feel you, man.
I mean, music was the last thing I ever thought I'd be doing. I mean, like, I grew up around it, yes, but I mean, my patience level was that of a, toddler.
Yeah,
even at like 11, 12 years old, just like, I don't want to learn how to play these chords on a guitar. I don't want to have to figure out how to split my body in 4 ways and play drums. I'd rather just go put on goalie pads and have people shoot frickin' hockey pucks at me.
Yeah, it's easy to do.
You just
have to move your hand at a certain place and, make sure the, puck doesn't go in the goal. Your job is simple there.
I have one job.
Yeah.
With lots of padding.
Yeah.
So you feel invincible.
I was gonna say, the difference is, between being a goalie and you said you play drums, right?
I do.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I had that right. Drums.
No, you're good, man. You're good.
Drums,
you're good.
You got like 6 different things. You got to switch in between. You got to make sure you're entertaining the crowd in some way. I'm sure. I don't know if you style it up like during your drum solos or anything. I've never seen you play, so I don't know.
That's all right.
Like
no,
watching.
see, my thing is I've always liked the whole idea of how some drummers that are very good as entertainers too come out with some pretty cool like first 2-3 song like stage aesthetics. But mainly RJ Hale from Hailstorm was the one for me that I saw them a lot, and he always came out wearing something that I thought was really cool. And a few years ago when I was working at Hot Topic in Freehold Mall, one of my friends used to be the manager for the Spencers right over there at at our mall.
Yeah.
And I go in and visit her during breaks and stuff, and I happened to walk in during Halloween time, and there was this really, really cool Purge mask. The one with the X's in the eyes and the lips sewn up, but they were like they glow in the dark. Like you see them a bunch now, but in 2015 it wasn't as, I guess prevalent.
You only had the one movie, I think, then.
What's that?
You only had the one movie, I think, then.
Yeah, by that point, that sounds about right.
Yeah, the one.
But either way, like they had that mask, and you have 3 settings where the lights would come on. And it would be like, still setting, and then it would be in like quarter note beats, and then it would be in like 16 note beats, almost like a freaking seizure.
Yeah.
But it just looks so cool. And I was like, you know what? I want to try this for the hell of it. Just play with this on stage, like 2-3 songs. Yeah. And one of my last bands I was in New York, Brand of Jewels, who are a great band from New York City. If anyone's wanting to hear some great music from the Northeast, those guys are fantastic.
Repeat that one more time because I just want to make sure I know who it is.
Yep. But, we opened up for Buck Cherry right the night before Thanksgiving in 2016, and that was the first night I tried using the mask.
Yeah.
And I really was worried that everyone was going to be like, dude, what the hell are you thinking? That's cheesy as hell. Like, really? Like, you doing this stupid mask BS? Like, who do you think you are? And then I got the complete opposite response. Everyone's like, dude, I love the mask. That was so cool. Where'd you get the mask? Blah, blah, blah. I was like, you know what? I'll take it.
Yeah.
That's what I was hoping for anyway.
You got what you wanted.
So kind of on and... Go ahead.
No, I was just saying you got what you wanted. That's all.
Yeah, and more, honestly, man. It was really, really cool. I'm just glad people dug something that I really dug and just wanted to have fun.
Yeah.
That's at the end of the day, regardless of how far we want to take it as musicians or any kind of arts, performing, whatever. It all started because you loved it and it was fun.
Yeah, and all you can hope for is that it translates.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
So, for a few years I would use that, but tying it to now perfectly, my new band, The Sacred, probably a band that I wouldn't use it as much in just because of it's just not right for the group, because I could use it all day long, but I'm a firm believer in it making sense. It's kind of like getting a tattoo and whatnot. It's like you got to sit on it for a while, see if it's something you really want to do, or like even placement. It's like you could get something really special, but if the placement's out of whack, it's out of whack.
Yeah.
And I feel like if I were to use it in a band like I'm doing now, it would just be out of place.
All right.
So I feel it's kind of one of those things that are retired for now. But
that's fair.
So the Sacred is a band from here in Nashville that originally wasn't the Sacred, obviously. There was a band beforehand, but it was pretty much 3/4 of this group now, and then I joined up with them back at the end of August. They're all a bunch of old buddies of mine from high school, and we just happened to catch each other not long after I moved back here last year from Jersey in March, and, caught back up, rekindled our friendship and everything, and just they played my engagement party for my fiance and I, and it just was a really, really special night. And it was the first time I actually jammed with them because we had an open jam night, and they brought me up to play with them, and we all just kind of had that moment where we looked at each other going, dude, we should do this.
Yeah.
Like, why are us four not playing together?
That's a hell of a time to start, too.
Yeah.
You can't think of a better time than that.
Yeah, who knew that an engagement party would bring a band together? Usually doesn't that break up the band or something?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
depending.
It just kind of makes sense, like, in your scenario. Like, you guys, like, started, like, right there. I feel like marriage, would normally, like, break somebody, like, up because, you're trying to focus on so much more shit. Let me not jinx that. So I'm going to stop going into that.
No, I'm very fortunate. You're not jinxing it, buddy. I mean, everybody gets along. Like, the band members, my fiance, like, everyone's like one big family, man. So
that's awesome.
It's a very rare situation, and I'm truly, truly blessed for it.
Yeah.
I mean, mind you, we've only been at it a few months now. We ain't no Godsmack or anything like that, but we're working hard and things are clicking very, very quickly. It's pretty wild, man. I always love the whole thing of, like, things falling together like Tetris.
Yeah.
Just once you get towards the end of, like, playing a game of Tetris and everything's starting to fall into place, it just all happens so quick, and the game, your picture's there, and that level's over. Next one.
Yeah, you feel like it goes so slow, and then, everything just happens out of nowhere, when it finally clicks.
Yeah, it's such a, it's just something it's just something to experience. You have to experience it. There's no way to really explain it other than just, like, really believing that there is things that are meant to be in life.
Yeah. What's unique?
Because the things that are forced are definitely the things that you choke the life out of, and nothing good comes from that.
No, not at all.
But when you just kind of let it happen without it being in a way that you feel like, oh, I'm being lazy, I'm not doing anything. It's like, well, as long as you're, like, steadily pursuing something, or at least making strides, not wearing yourself out, knowing how to well-round things, just a little bit of time here, a little bit of time there, give yourself a break, which none of us know how to frickin' do.
Mm-hmm. Very true.
Breaks, oh my God, why are we allowed breaks? If we do that, all these other people are going to jump ahead of us, and nothing's going to happen. We're going to be screwed, blah, 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 blah. You know how the creative brain works.
Yeah, you start thinking that way, and then, what actually ends up happening is, a lot of times you're going to kind of, like, lose a steady thought process that you're going to have if you take a break. When you start getting in your head thinking, oh my God, I'm not getting anywhere after, like, a certain amount of time, that's when, everything starts to fall out of place, and that's when, the Tetris game starts fucking up on you. But, when you kind of just take things as they come, and I've had to learn this myself, with radio and doing stand-up and all of that, you realize that you just have to take it one day at a time. You have to be consistent, and that, you just have to kind of keep going through each step as it comes. And once you do that, it may not happen right away, but eventually things are going to start to fall into place like they're supposed to.
Absolutely. it's like being a lawyer almost, just doing things pro bono for so long.
Yeah, in a
You
way,
know,
yeah.
just depending on the person's journey, because we all know no one person of a creative world's journey is ever the same. There are
No.
similarities, but no one's path is ever exactly the
It's
same.
completely different for
You know.
everybody.
But
No way
yeah,
to
a lot of
predict it.
times people don't realize the sacrifices people in these worlds of art and music and comedy and anything that involves so much time and your talent that you don't get paid for and you
Yeah.
don't get back, but it's so worth it.
The time and the
It's
miles.
it's so worth it.
Yeah, it's worth getting
You
on
don't even think about it.
Yeah, it's worth getting on stage for and, making a crowd laugh or feel entertained in some way. The time and the miles are always worth it. At least they have been for me. I think you would agree after everything you said. But, yeah, it's a journey and it's worth every step of the process, and it becomes more worth it the more you go on it.
Yeah, dude, my hat's off to you for doing comedy. I mean, that's fantastic. I love just in life cracking people up in the first place, but it's a very vulnerable thing
Yeah.
to just be up there by yourself. I've maybe done something like that once in my life, and that was freaking, oh my God, like, what the heck? I'm having a brain fart.
It gets
See, I'm
less-
having a moment right now.
It's fine. It gets less and less terrifying, I feel like, but there's, always a sense of fear before you go up. At least that's what it's been for me. I remember, the first few times I was in New York, I could barely contain how scared I was. I remember the first time I went over at a place called Stand Up New York on West 78th. I'm like hitting myself in the chest, trying to calm myself down. I'm trying to like breathe deep so I can like breathe steady before I go on stage. And then when I get up, all of that just went away. There was another comedian that talks about big dick energy, and then this white dude gave him a fist pound. And as soon as I started talking about that moment, it was over. I started messing with him for like 2 out of the 6 minutes of my set. I ended up going back to him, and then this other girl in the front later. And, the rest was history after that, few minutes of my set. And it was just so easy to kind of just work with the crowd after that, especially because I
It's
do want to
just
give
that intimidation factor
Yeah.
of what's going to happen, like the uncontrollable, the unknown, the fear of the unknown, which is
Yeah.
one of the biggest. Just, is it going to go well? Am I going to remember my lines? The brain just starts going, well,
Oh, yeah.
are you this? Are you that? What if that? It's just, ugh.
real quick because
But then you get up there and you're like, you know what? I'm a damn comedian. I am a
fuck
damn
yeah.
drummer. I am a this or that. I got this.
Yeah.
As soon as it's game on, it is like going back to sports and putting on the helmet going, all right, time to nut up or shut up.
Real quick, though, I do got to give credit to the host that night. I think his name was Adam Gully. He did a terrific job because the guy actually, before me, bombed. So he actually ended up bringing the crowd back up. And, everybody pretty much did
that's
great
cool.
that night. So it was a fantastic show. Probably one of the best shows I've been to. But, yeah, I do got to give credit for that part specifically, at least, because that was, like, right before I went up, and that was fantastic. I completely forget
That's awesome.
where else I was going with that, but that was pretty much the point of it.
It's all good, man.
Yeah. But
It's all good. But, yeah, to go back to kind of what I was trying to say earlier before I had my brain fart was like, I barely can do karaoke, yet I can go up on stage and perform drums and stuff, but it's like, you have other people that the attention is on, so it's not just all on you, where in your case, obviously, you are the focus.
Yeah. Can I be honest, though?
Go ahead.
I was going to say, karaoke is for drunk, talentless motherfuckers like me. It's not for people that can actually do this music shit, all right?
I just always wanted to do it, and I felt comfortable one time, and I didn't do too bad, and then the second time, my knees damn near buckled, and I about freaking hit the floor.
Oh, my God. You should have been singing Let the Bodies Hit the Floor at that point.
Yeah, I should have.
Just started screaming into the mic
it
as your
didn't
knees
happen.
buckled.
It wouldn't have been good. It wouldn't have been good. But I guess then that would have been the norm.
Yeah, it would have been
Because is it
beautiful.
ever good?
I was going to say karaoke usually is not.
Yeah, I know, right?
9 out of 10 times. That is for drunk.
Oh man, you should experience it on Broadway here in Nashville. Just going to the honky tonk bars and all those places down here. Oh my God!
Oh, how bad is it?
There should be a website for it. Like there's people of Walmart.com. There's karaokeofnashville.com. That would be great, or something along those lines.
Like World Star, like Nashville karaoke version.
It's something else, man. I mean, just being down on Broadway, I mean, even with New York, forget about it. But, like, Nashville is changed a lot since I was last here. I mean, I think there's, like, a Instagram page that's, like, the people of Nashville, and it's, like, so hard to find. But when you do, it's just, like, this unbelievable footage of the craziness that goes on Broadway now, because we're such a touristy place now.
Yeah.
Compared to what we used to be. I mean, geez, the people from Canada alone.
Really?
I used to work in a liquor store downtown for about a year and a half, so I'd meet people from all over the world like every day of the week.
No, I can imagine.
Because everyone's coming here now. And hell, this year we had the NFL draft here.
Are you serious?
I met a lot of people.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was in Nashville.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was nuts.
That's insane.
It was nuts. I mean, I didn't go down there for it, but I worked close enough to the city to kind of tell what was going on down there, and then obviously on TV seeing it, it's just like, oh my God. I think, I can't even remember the number of how many people were down there, but you couldn't pay me enough. You could not pay me enough.
As long as Nashville doesn't get its own NFL team, because that would be too weird. Because I feel like that is the city where music
Well, you
happens.
ready for a mind bomb?
Sure, man.
We've had one since 1999.
Really? What team is that?
The Tennessee Titans.
Well, I mean, that's the Tennessee Titans. I just figured that was Tennessee. I'm talking about specifically the city of Nashville. I mean, is the stadium in Nashville?
Yeah.
Okay, I did not know that.
The Titans play in Nashville.
I didn't know they play in Nashville. All right, then that counts.
Well, yeah. Well, no, it's all good, man. I mean, if you're not familiar with it, it says Tennessee. The state's freaking huge. It could be Memphis. It could be Chattanooga. It could be anywhere.
Yeah,
but
that's very
true.
no,
they've had it in Nashville since they got the franchise here from Houston.
Okay.
So they've had the Coliseum here since '99.
Wait, hold on. You said from Houston. I thought it was the Houston Oilers, and then they went to the Texans.
Yep, and then they were the Tennessee Oilers. Then they had someone name the team the Titans, and then they became the Tennessee Titans.
I didn't even know there was a Tennessee Oilers. I just thought the Oilers were out of Houston.
They were, and then they moved here. I mean, I'm no absolute sports nerd, so if anyone's listening that's going like, oh my God, what's he talking about? It's like, well, I don't know. I know as much as I do. If anyone else wants to fill in the blanks, you be my guest.
You know it from being in Nashville, because I didn't even know that.
Yes.
I do sports news at a different station, actually, and I had no idea. So I just learned something completely new today.
Well, if it ain't on your radar, man, there ain't a thing wrong with that. Not everyone knows that. Hell, not everyone even knows who Led Zeppelin is. Heaven forbid.
Very true. There are people out there.
You know what I mean?
I had somebody ask me, because I'm a wrestling fan. I had somebody, my senior year of college, which was about 2-3 years ago, not know who John Cena was. That was the weirdest thing ever to me.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I've never heard.
and that's all right though. But that's all right though. You can't expect everybody to know everything. That's just absolutely outrageous and ridiculous.
Although I do expect them to know who John Cena is.
Yep, especially after that prank call thing that they did.
Oh my God,
on that woman.
That was
one of the funniest
fantastic
things I have ever heard in my freaking life, man.
Abby actually showed me that.
Oh, man. I heard that you said
ever.
that she wasn't doing, she was feeling really ill. Please give her my best. I miss her.
Oh, bro, I definitely
for
will.
those listening, Abby and I used to work together at the Zoomies in Freehold Mall.
Okay.
We were both managers together at that store, and that's how I met her. And she was always, one of my good buddies at the store. Just we always had music stuff we'd talk about Warped Tour, all kinds of stuff, and that's why it's really cool that we get to talk. Yeah, I wish she could be here with us, but hopefully she's feeling better.
She'll end up feeling better probably like later this week because I actually do audition for America's Got Talent. So she said her goal is to feel better by then. Because I do have a show tomorrow night, and she's not going to be able to make that, which sucks, but it is what it is. I want her
she's got
to
to take care of herself first.
Yeah.
She's got to get herself better, and I
Definitely.
hope she gets better. If she's listening, I hope you feel better.
Yeah. I'd rather, her try to get better than just push herself and end up feeling worse,
Absolutely, and that's what a lot of us tend to do.
Yeah.
Keep
very
pushing until we pretty much break down, and the check engine light comes on.
I was going to say, me and her have both done that a couple of times. I ended up almost not sleeping, last Saturday because she really wanted me to go on a ghost hunt for her mom's birthday, which was very fun. I just ended up sleeping.
That sounds freaking awesome.
Yeah, no, it was awesome and it was totally worth it, but although by the time, everybody just wanted to, go free time, they just went around the house for like 2 hours looking for whatever they could find. That was around like 1:30 in the morning. I just went to the trailer on the side that they kind of took over, and I just went to sleep for like 2 hours.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I just said fuck it. Abby was, scared after 5 hours of doing it anyway, so she just stayed with me, and then we ended up going back for like the last half an hour. So it worked out.
Well, that's what matters.
Yeah.
That it all worked out.
Yeah, and I was able to make it through the day the next day, so... we got through it, man.
Good.
But, did she actually ever tell you how we met? I'm kind of curious.
I don't think so. Like, I haven't had we haven't had a chance to actually really catch up in quite some time because obviously, she's been busy. I've been down here doing my thing. So
yeah,
I would be very intrigued to hear it.
Okay, well, before Abby, I was actually engaged. The relationship before her. And a friend of hers, her name is Tori Axe. I don't know if you know who that is.
I'm not sure, to be honest with you.
We wanted to get engagement photos done, and then Tori ended up telling us about Abby. So the day I met Abby is actually the day she took those engagement pictures.
Huh.
Yeah, right? Ain't that some shit?
That's some... Yeah, and you said it best. I have nothing. I got nothing.
And then obviously that didn't work out. And then a little bit over a year after that happened, me and her ended up being a thing. So yeah, that's basically it.
That's some serendipity for sure. That's some life foreshadowing shit right there.
He said serendipity. Fucking Christ.
It's a great word.
Oh, it's a beautiful word. A lot like malarkey.
People don't use...
A lot like malarkey and magenta.
Malarkey is a great freaking word.
I think magenta is a great word, too. Magenta, it's a great color and a great word.
Yes.
I think very underrated. Yeah, but...
Absolutely, I concur.
Although I do want to take it back to music for a little bit. You said you moved down to Nashville in 2001, right?
Yes, I moved down here for my first time in the spring of '01.
Okay.
My dad and his side of the family are all pretty much from here, and we came down to visit them around Christmas time in 2000 so I could meet my family, because at that point I had only known, like, my immediate family, like grandparents, and that was really it.
Okay.
And I didn't realize I had all this huge side of my family on my dad's side. And so that Christmas, everyone wanted to meet us, and we just happened to really fall in love with Nashville at that point.
Okay.
And so we decided to make the jump and move down here, and I was here from '01 till 2013, where I did, middle and high school here, did most of the beginning of my music here, and
okay.
Then it just all brought me back to Jersey for like 5.5, 6 years. Because I wanted to experience Jersey as an adult and as a musician, because the last time I lived there, I was 11 and a soccer player.
Okay, I was actually about to ask how old you were before you moved down. So you said 11?
Yep, I was 11 before I moved away, and obviously 11 moving down here, and then I was 23 when I left.
Okay.
and then 28 when I came back.
All right, well, let me ask you this really quick. When you were living in New Jersey as a kid, were you the lone athlete then too, or did it really change in Nashville?
I was pretty much playing sports from 4 years old till I was 15, 16.
Okay. So you were pretty much the lone athlete, the whole time, New Jersey and Nashville both.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, mostly my years in Jersey, like the first years I was there, was all sports, and then like maybe 4 or 5 years of being down here, I was sports as well. But then the music came like a year later,
Okay.
and then pretty much from that point onward, it was just music full on.
Okay, because I didn't know if like Music City was like what changed it, so like I wanted to be sure. You know what I mean?
No, it's really ironic, but I definitely feel like parts of it had to do with it being Music City. But I mean, a lot of it was definitely by peers.
Okay.
That
was the majority.
Mainly, and weirdly enough, WWE and stuff too, because I love the music choices that they would use back in the late 90s, early 2000s. It's how I heard so many bands I loved at that time.
I was going to say, you remember
when they were
Motorhead?
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, you remember Motorhead?
Well, of course, absolutely.
I was going to say, I just wanted to make sure you did, because I still remember all the times they came out playing at WrestleMania and everything.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, God, when they had Drowning Pool back before Dave, the original vocalist, passed away, they had Drowning Pool play WrestleMania 18, I think it was. I mean, they just had all these new rock bands and metal bands and stuff that they were playing for their pay-per-views and even their theme songs for their weekly shows.
Yeah.
And then Chris Jericho had his band Fozzy, and that was a huge turning point for me, weirdly enough, was in, I think, 2002 or 3, Fozzy played on Monday Night Raw, and they played this song, To Kill a Stranger, off the album they had. I think it was called Happenstance at the time. And I was just so blown away by their performance. I was like, man, I want to be playing on drums with pyro going off.
Yeah.
That looks amazing.
And the crazy thing, too, is think about how much, music has expanded over the years, performance-wise in WWE. You think about all the people that have been to WrestleMania just performing there, and not even just through, like, rock. You had MGK perform there. I think Flo Rida did, Pitbull over the years. The way that's just expanded, too, from, what it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and in a weird way in the last year or so, it's, like, been coming back around to, like, some stuff kind of close to that, but obviously it'll never be the same thing it was 20 years ago.
Unless they take the PG rating off.
Do I know?
Unless they take the PG rating off, then yeah, you're right.
I think they recently have.
Really?
Because Monday Night Raw's theme song now is Legendary by Skillet. And what's SmackDown's? I think it's Are You Ready by AC/DC. And then their brand NXT they have is, oh man, I'm going to feel bad for forgetting the title, but it's Slipknot though.
It's Slipknot?
Yeah, I think it's Unsainted.
Okay.
The first song they put out this year, I believe, I'm going to feel so terrible because I love Slipknot, but for some reason the title of the song is escaping me. But either way, Slipknot is the theme song for one of WWE shows right now, which is really cool. And Triple H is a big part of that because of how much like metal and rock he influences him, and like we said, he was Motorhead was his theme song.
Yeah, with more than one of them, I have to add. More than one theme song. I think he's got like one for, him being the King of Kings, and then I think he has like his normal one.
Either way, yeah,
multiple
both being Motorhead though, which is so cool.
Yeah, definitely. I 100% agree with you. But I don't know. I would have to check the rating because I actually didn't know they changed it. I think that's fucking great that they did because they censor a lot of stuff that I don't think they should. And I think, the way they kind of try to take the brutality out of it in a way is it's unrealistic. You have sports like boxing, you have sports like MMA, two of the most physical sports in the entire world, because you get in that ring and you're trying to knock somebody's head off. You're hitting all these.
Well, that's where AEW is coming in now and bringing back that old flair with people jumping onto boards with barbed wire on it and thumbtacks and fire and just all that crazy stuff we used to watch during the Attitude Era.
Oh, yeah.
The All Elite Wrestling has basically brought all of that back, which is crazy.
But think about it.
It's awesome. I'm glad that they have competition finally and that WWE isn't,
I agree.
It's not just them anymore.
Yeah, they actually need to step up their game now.
Absolutely. But yeah, so I think that's definitely I have to say it's a bucket list goal in my life, musically, personally, is to be part of WWE in some musical facet with any group I am a part of. Obviously, the Sacred, I would love for us to be a part of that, whether we're a pay-per-view theme song, I don't care. Just to have our music being played on a WWE event, I think I could damn near check off mission complete in my lifetime.
That's a bucket list thing. That should be a bucket list thing for anybody to do.
Yes.
And
yes,
Howie
absolutely.
Mandel.
I mean, even if... Go ahead.
No, all I was going to say is Howie Mandel did stand up for WWE, so if he can do it, I can do it too.
Yeah. It's true.
Anyways, you were talking, so you should finish.
No, so it's all good, man. It's all good. I just think that would be such an ultimate. I mean, what better way to get your band's song and name out there than millions upon millions upon millions of WWE fans hearing your song?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Best believe when I was, me being about to be 30 in 2001, being 10, 11 years old, and Napster, LimeWire, Aries, all that being there, you best believe I was downloading WWE theme songs, ripping them on the CD, and using them as entrances, playing wrestling at home.
I still play the stuff in my car. You kidding?
Exactly. You can get all that stuff on Spotify, and it's still being played because the music's great.
Yeah. There's a reason why people download it, and there's a reason why it's on Spotify in the first place.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's not bad publicity by any means.
No.
Being heard by millions upon millions of WWE fans.
You got SmackDown.
Night after night.
You got SmackDown on Fox now, for God's sakes.
Yeah,
the outreach they have is
heard
ridiculous.
On Fox regardless of who you are.
The outreach they have is ridiculous. I don't care what anybody says.
Exactly.
The same ex that I was with before Abby, said Pitbull's career has gone down the drain because he performed at WrestleMania. This was a sentence I heard out loud. And her brother's a wrestling fan, too, so... I couldn't believe the ass.
There shouldn't be a damn thing wrong with performing at WrestleMania, man. That should be like a pinnacle, not the pinnacle, but a definitely huge pinnacle in someone's career.
I'm just thinking...
I'm
just thinking about it right now, and I realize how asinine it is, but go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I went to WrestleMania for my first time ever this year at MetLife, and I mean, Oh my God.
I can only imagine.
There's nothing like it. I was damn near to the top of MetLife Stadium. I was near one of the high-up cameras at the very top of MetLife, and I still could care less. I was just like, man, this is one of the greatest things I've ever witnessed in my life. There's nothing like it.
First of all, the seats are probably so goddamn expensive that was all aspiring musicians and comedians could afford.
Well, a dear friend of mine, Justin, that actually, funny enough, used to work with Abby and I. If you ever heard of her mention, a friend of mine, Justin Sassone, we all used to work together at Zoomies, and he's an old friend of mine, one of my really good friends, and he got tickets for him and I and surprised the hell out of me, and I just basically had to get my butt to Jersey.
Yeah, I can
to
imagine.
go, and you best believe I did.
Oh, if you have a chance to go to that, why would you pass that up? That's crazy.
Exactly, and next year it's in Tampa, so it's not too terribly far from me.
Yeah, you're
from
down south.
Nashville. So,
You're only a couple states away.
yep, absolutely. But
Hey, if you can do it, go for it, man.
oh,
Why the fuck
yeah,
not?
no kidding.
Yeah, but you're with the Sacred now. You said you've been with them for a few months. What's the kind of, stuff you do now? What do you do with them?
Well, let's see. We are definitely an original hard rock band from here in Nashville. There's a lot of influence in this band amongst the four of us. There's myself on drums, my friend Trent Jones, who's the main vocalist and does rhythm guitar, my pal Ethan Gilbert, who is lead guitar and background vocals, and my bassist and freaking badass rhythm section partner, Travis Kreidel, who is just a monster freaking bass player. And I mean, the range of music goes all the way from like rockabilly and punk influence to like Incubus, 10 Years, to Avenged Sevenfold, to My Chemical Romance, to just so much of this, that, and the other. And it's just a recipe for making some really, really interesting music.
That's a lot.
But in the end, it all comes out in the wash as like a rock or hard rock feel.
That's a lot of different bands you just threw at me at once. You threw Avenged Sevenfold and My Chemical Romance in the same sentence at me.
I sure did.
That took me a
and
second
I'm
to
damn proud of
process.
it.
Oh, I believe you. You should be. You should be damn proud
I
of
am.
that. But I was going to say, what kind of, like, stuff do you, like... Oh, so, yeah, that's the kind of... I was about to ask, like, what kind of stuff you do with them again, and then I remember you basically just said the kind of music variations.
So if you want to hear kind of from my point of view, like the way I've been going about it as the drummer. So, I mean, I've been in metal bands most of my years playing, very physically demanding, very foot rhythmic metal bands, almost a metalcore vibe, like your Kill Switch Engage, Lamb of God, Parkway Drive, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But with this group, I wanted to take more of a songwriting approach because I'm also a guitarist and can write lyrics, but I'm very picky about when. I don't like to force my words. If I feel inspiration, I'll do it, but if not, no big deal.
Yeah, I'm the same way with jokes.
So the way I go about it is basically as if I was the drummer of My Chem playing in Avenged to a point.
Okay.
Finding my moments where the drums can have a little bit of moment in the sun, but definitely keeping the music very to the point and good groove, good rhythm, good feel. It takes you on an adventure. It takes you on a journey. It's not just about the drums going crazy or the guitars going crazy. Like, we're really trying to create mood and atmosphere with the music and hoping that the song story and vocals and everything really help finalize telling the tale of the songs we write.
Gotcha. Yeah, but I feel that. I feel like, with comedy, I try to tell, like, my own story, and I try to make it in a way that, people will understand, laugh at, and relate to it. And the vibe I'm getting is, you kind of do the same thing, so.
We're very much about it. We want to be as honest and ourselves as possible.
Okay.
We want to make sure the music we write is music we're proud of and not, obviously there are people in mind because, with
of course
fan bases, of course, and all that, there is that part, but we also want to make sure those people who dig us because we are genuinely who we are. Just like any good relationship, you want your significant other to love you for you.
That's fair.
And nothing else. They don't want to love you just to change you.
Yeah, they
Where us, our band is sacred. The name The Sacred means so much because we are four guys who have gone our different ways musically and different ways in life and have come back around to form this sacred bond of musicians and brother and family and just pure passion for music. And that's why it's really cool with our logo. Like, the words are in stone, and it's like having just this thing we have set in stone together that we are going to give our best, be our best, write the best we can, be by each other's side, and that this is set in stone, and then around it is a circle that just kind of represents it all coming around full circle, because the timing of everything, it was just so
perfect.
There's no other way to explain it. It was just full circle.
Yeah.
And it's so simple, but it makes so much sense. It explains so much words in such simple artistic display.
The simplest things a lot of times are some of the most beautiful things, which is, why I can appreciate how you guys got together and, the whole story behind it, especially with, you going your separate ways as musicians. When exactly did you guys go your separate ways? You said like 15 years ago?
Well, just in general, like we've always kind of been our separate ways until the guys got together, the three of them with my old buddy who used to be the drummer for the original lineup of this group. They were under a different name before the Sacred.
Okay.
Not much different, but point being, though, that it just, one piece came together, another one came together at the times they were supposed to, and it led to basically, I guess, myself being the final piece and us kind of hitting the reset button.
Gotcha.
Taking songs they had written before, and revamping them to how it feels as the Sacred as opposed to what it was before.
All right. I'm going to ask you I'm going to ask you a personal question about the band really quick.
Please.
What exactly happened, with the band that before you ended up showing up? Do you know anything about it? If you want to talk about it, that's cool.
Yeah,
if not,
absolutely.
That's perfectly fine.
So the band used to be called Sacred Satellites.
Okay.
Which was pretty much the three guys and one of my old friends from middle school, Grant.
Okay.
And, it's not like anything like really crazy or whatever. It just, the three guys really wanted it as bad as I wanted it. My buddy who played drums, he's a really good drummer, and he enjoyed doing it, but some people just don't know when to say, you know what, I'm not really wanting to be that serious about it.
Okay.
And he just, it wasn't that he couldn't or didn't admit that, but it just got to a point where the guys realized that it was kind of like, all right, this is the one thing kind of holding things back, and we have someone that can really help kind of get the wind back in the sails, and do we all agree this is the move we want to do?
Yeah. All right.
And so they all came to my place, and we were talking about it, because at the time I wasn't involved with anything, and I was starting to get really, really depressed and like had nothing really going on, though I was in a town where so much was going on. And it was literally just because I hit up Trent one day and was like, man, I need to write. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's music. I need to create. And he was like, dude, come over. Let's just whatever, see what happens. Yeah. And sure enough, it just kind of led to week after week after week, us all hanging out and getting together. And then it was like, you know what, guys? Why don't we just freaking do this already?
Yeah.
And so we just said, screw it. And we did. And we've only been at it about 2.5, almost 3 months. And currently we have recorded our debut single called The Crime, which should be coming out here pretty soon. I don't have a date yet. We're in the middle of the mastering phase of it right now, but I cannot wait for people to hear this. And we have plenty of other material that we've been working on, past and revamped, and then obviously some new stuff too. Okay. But, for us being a new band, haven't even played a show or anything yet, things are just clicking and moving at the pace they're supposed to, which is a lot faster than most, I guess. But when things are right, they go. They work.
Yeah. All right. So you did mention, being depressed because you weren't creating anything. When you, started, creating music, you were obviously still in Nashville. You experienced it down here. Tell me some of the stuff you created, before the Sacred, some of the bands you were in. Take me through that time in Nashville and Jersey before you went back to Nashville again.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I was in some really cool bands in Jersey. I mean, my first band was a band from Monmouth County called Sick Mind.
Okay.
That I played with them for about a year or so, but they were the first guys that took me on, and it was kind of we were not that we were much older than each other, but I was 23 and the guys were all just graduating high school.
Oh, okay.
So, but they found me on Band Mix because when I was living in Nashville, I was like, you know what I need to do? I need to switch all my info to Jersey so people can actually see me.
Yeah.
And sure enough, they were one of the bands that saw me, and within like the first few days of moving back, I got together with them, and by that weekend, I was with them.
Awesome.
And they were such a huge part of what became of my journey in New Jersey the last years I was there.
Okay.
Because I met so many people through them and just got so many cool experiences and opportunities and chances to play in Jersey, because I never played in Jersey until 2013. It was the first time I ever played in New Jersey in my life.
Wow.
And I pretty much, that first year, I think, we did a music festival in Lakewood at the Blue Cross Stadium, did a few Brighton Bar shows, played Stone Pony.
Okay.
You know, we wound up recording a single together. They had music out already, but, you know, with me being the new drummer, they wanted to try this single that one of the guys had written, which was a really cool song at the time. And, you know, it was a very good first experience, and it's kind of in a weird way how I wound up with a job at Hot Topic because of them having a friend from another band that I became friends with at the time, who we went to the mall one day, and he was like, man, they never hire at Hot Topic. And I went up to who would become my boss, Sarah, eventually, and be like, hey, y'all hiring? She's like, yeah, here's an application. And I kind of looked at my friend and was like, well, I guess you're lying, or you just didn't try. And I got the job within a few weeks, which turned into me meeting all these really cool people, you know, from all kinds of walks of music and the weird kids and everybody. It was just that store was what cracked my shell open from being so, well, just like shy or anything of that, or timid in any way.
That's what Hot Topic is, though. It's like that mix of like kids that, you know, normally get looked at as weird, and that's what makes it this beautiful store.
It was so cool, man. Like, I don't care what people think of that store. I mean, you know,
it's a beautiful
every
store.
job has its moments. Every job has its thing, but that place really helped me be comfortable with myself. And I never thought a place like that would ever be something like that for me. But my boss would throw me right in the front of the store and be like, you're greeting people. Get over it. I'm like, you know what? All right. Well, I will.
Well, first off, it only makes sense that, you know, you had a friend at Spencer's. I know you brought this up like way earlier in the show. But that I feel is kind of like, you know, like a stepbrothers like kind of relationship that they have, you know what I mean? Because they're kind of the same thing.
Oh, absolutely.
Just Hot Topic, you have, you know, all like the rock and roll and then the nerdy shit. And then Spencer's, you've got like the nerdy shit, like with like the mixture of like sexual stuff in the back.
Yeah, and all the kids thinking they're funny teenagers and stuff going, ha ha ha, look guys, it's sex toys. Ha,
oh my god, it's a dildo.
Ha.
I remember I wanted to get a beer funnel, right? So I knew there was stuff at Spencer's, and I actually went with a coworker because he wanted me to drop him off, and it was New Year's Eve, and he didn't have a ride to his friend's house, and it was right by my house. So I was like, all right, no problem. So, you know, he comes in with me to Spencer's. I go get the beer funnel, and I actually told him what was in the back. I don't remember, you know, how that came up, but he goes and looks in the back, and he sees the dildos back there. And he comes back to me, like, freaked out. He's like, yo, I'm never going in here again. Just, like freaking out and shit at what he saw. Because he didn't believe me when I told him that. And I actually started, like, fucking with him for a little bit. Because I was like,
that's
bro,
funny, man.
Act like you didn't know this existed before. And you're, 20, 21 years old? At least he was at the time. And it was just funny, man. I don't even know what made me
that's
think
what friends do.
Oh,
that's
absolutely.
what friends do, though. That's what they're supposed to do,
right.
Or at least.
I know we've gone off topic for a quick second, but I do have to ask one more question that's off topic. You said the manager's name.
Oh, dude, by all means.
You said the manager's name was Sarah, and I think Abby knows a Sarah that works there now, or at least that's the last I heard from Abby. And it was a girl that I went to St. Peter's with. What was her last name?
Beak.
Oh, it wasn't her. Never mind. I brought that up for nothing.
Well, I mean, that's her married name.
Oh, that's her married name?
Her... Yes.
Okay,
if
what
you
was her
said
last
her
name
last
before
name,
that?
I feel like I would know.
Is
it's
it,
just not clicking at the moment.
Is it Witzling?
Okay, so
Is
it
it?
wasn't her, but she's one of my dear friends, and I absolutely freaking adore her.
Okay, I just wanted to know. Because
No, it wasn't her. It was there was a few different Sarahs, so they always be like Big Sarah, Little Sarah, this Sarah, that
Yeah.
Sarah.
Okay.
But yeah, she was known as Little Sarah. But yes, she's one of my dear friends. I absolutely adore that chick. She's awesome. But
Yeah.
no, it wasn't her though. It was the boss,
Okay.
her boss, Sarah.
Oh,
If
all
they
right.
ever mention
Gotcha.
her.
Yeah, because last I heard, she works there. At least that's what Abby told me. And I actually went to school with her at St. Peter's. I met her from somebody there.
Yeah,
Small fucking world.
that's another one of my good friends. She was like one of my favorite people to work with.
Yeah, I gotta tell her I interviewed you, bro.
Oh, she'll get it. She'll freak out over
Oh,
that.
fuck
That'd
yeah.
be wild.
Because I'm pretty sure she already knows I'm dating Abby, so that can't really freak her out now.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I definitely gotta let her know about that.
That's too funny.
Yeah, right. All right, so we are coming up at the end of the show. Unfortunately, I do want to, ask you to plug your stuff if anything is coming up with your band. But is there anything, else you want to tell me about the journey you've been on? Maybe with the band, maybe with the band you were just talking about. What was their name, really quick?
Okay, so the group I was first talking about was Sick Mind,
Sick
but the
Minds,
big one
okay.
for me was my first band I started with some of my good friends up there in Jersey called Legacy.
Okay.
That was a big one personally for me. It was one of my friends, Jordan Mode, who was in a band from Jersey back then called Horseman 5.
Okay.
My buddy Cody
What's
Tarrant,
that name?
who also was in that group for a moment, and then my friend Frank Picarillo. We had our band Legacy for a few years.
Okay.
And then things kind of led to where I wound up leaving, just personal choices,
Gotcha.
They carried on with it and actually changed the name. They're now under Suspicious Minds, and they're still playing great
sounds
music
awesome.
and writing new good stuff. Definitely a band worth checking out.
All right. Good shit,
But,
man. Good shit.
Yeah, we did a lot of cool shows. We played Starland Ballroom on my birthday in 2016.
Wow.
My first time playing Starland was my birthday. That was something
That's
else.
cool. Yeah, I've been to Starland.
Yeah, that
That's
was a
an
pretty
awesome
special
venue.
night. That was pretty cool.
That is an
but
awesome venue.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, there's Sick Mind, there's Legacy, and Branded Jewels from New York City. Those
Okay.
groups were the big ones for me up there, for sure.
Okay, you mentioned Branded
Just a
Jewels.
lot of
I was
show-
going to ask you
Go
about
ahead.
that. No, you mentioned Branded Jewels. That was the beginning of the show. You mentioned it, and I actually didn't
Yeah.
hear you properly, and I tried to ask you to repeat it, and you were just like, yep, because I don't think you heard me. And now that
No, I did
you
not.
say that, no, it's just that now that you say that again, I was like, holy shit, he mentioned that in the beginning. All right, cool. Now I know.
Yeah.
Now I know.
Yeah, no, those guys are still killing it out there. They're touring their freaking asses off right
Good
now.
shit. I was gonna
Yeah,
say
they're doing it, man. I'm proud of them. I'm so proud of them.
There's one specific music venue that I want to go to, especially because, I know actually a few people that have performed there. I know a country artist who performed there, and actually, the group that does the theme song for this Meta Noise, they perform there too. So, and I really want to go to this venue, Brockwood Music Hall. You've probably heard of it.
Where is that?
It's in New York.
Okay, I'll be honest. Haven't been there.
No?
Haven't heard of it.
Holy
Not gonna
shit. No, because I know a lot of people that have performed there, so I kind of just figured, so my bad.
Lie. It's okay. It's okay. No, I mean,
I get excited with
you know
that
how it
place.
is in New York, though, man. There's so many freaking clubs. You think you know them all, and then
Fair
there's
enough.
20,000 freaking more.
Oh, yeah, no, it's like that with comedy clubs, too. Every time I think I've been to most of them, more end up, showing up. Or,
Well, there's a really great one down here, man. If you ever come down this way to check it out, it's called Zanies.
Okay. I would
It's our
definitely.
main. It's basically Nashville's main comedy club that I know of. It's the one that's at least promoted the most. It's a cool spot, man. You'd really, really dig it.
I would definitely love to check it out if I'm ever in Nashville, because I didn't even know they had a comedy scene. I mean, I
Oh my
figured they
God,
had.
dude! Zanies has been around forever.
I figured.
Forever.
I figured they had something, but I figured it was just so overshadowed by music that a lot of people don't
Oh no,
actually know about.
Zanies is very well known.
It is?
Zanies is very, very well known.
All right. I'm like with Zanies like you were with Rockwood, so we're on the same page, and I can appreciate
No, that's cool. That's cool. We're even.
it. Yeah, but really quick, though, I do want to ask, what was your favorite experience as a performer? I know that's probably a tough question.
No,
so
no,
I
I
figured I'd save
love
it for the
I
end.
love those questions though, man, because it really makes me think about those moments that you keep in the back of your mind, but it's always there until it's kind of pried and brought up.
Fair enough.
But weirdly enough, one of them, it's a vague memory in my mind, but it's one I always just thought was so cool, was experiencing the first time seeing a little kid watching me play and
Okay.
just having the time of their life watching me play. I just thought it was the coolest thing. Like, I remember being that kid and then having the moment where the roles were reversed. It was just so cool, regardless of what the show was or whatever we were doing. It didn't matter. It was
Gotta
just
be a
that
special
moment of the child looking at you like, oh my God, this is so cool. And you going, I remember how you feel.
I was there.
It's that innocent excitement.
Yeah.
That was definitely a big one for me, was having a moment like that.
That's
But
awesome.
also, I think it's so hard. There's so many blips and brief moments in time from these shows, because for me, my energy hits so hard when on stage that my set winds up becoming blacked out almost. Not that I black out, but it's just the intensity is so high that by the time I start the first song, I'm loading off stage by the time I even come back to it.
Yeah, fair enough. I understand. That makes perfect sense.
I would definitely say one of the cooler moments was the band I was in before this was a metal band from here called Voodoo Prophet, and we played in Memphis with the bands Death Angel and Overkill. And Jason Bittner from Shadows Fall is the drummer in Overkill now, and one of my just favorite drummers. And I'd met him once before, long story there, but there was a connection between a job I had here and him where they were family, and so we kind of still knew each other on that level. And he actually came out to the side of the stage during our set and watched our part of our set, and looking over and seeing him there, I was just like, holy crap.
Yeah.
Just those kind
That
of
is
moments.
crazy,
And
yeah, that's awesome, man.
I don't know.
I can appreciate it. I really can. All right, but
I just feel like there's the ones I'm hoping for, just the ones that haven't come yet. I've experienced a lot of really cool stuff, but
you always
I'm
hope for
ready
that
to
one that
experience
tops it.
with the band that I have now. That's really just family, and we've really built it together from the ground up.
Yeah, definitely.
And get to experience that genuine growth together. The first time people hearing us, just everything.
Yeah.
So I have a feeling those moments are still to come.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Which is so exciting.
I was gonna say, if people haven't heard you yet, then I would assume it's still to come.
Oh yeah, it's cool, man. I can't wait for people to hear this. I mean, I could care less the fact that not everyone's gonna like it, and a lot of people are gonna like it, and that's just the way of the world.
Oh yeah.
And that's cool.
Yeah.
So that's fine.
Got to get it out there
I
first.
just can't. Exactly. Can't be afraid of rejection or any of that.
Nah.
Because if you are, you ain't going anywhere. You might as well just stay down.
All right, but we are coming up at the end of the show, unfortunately. So is there anything you guys are doing right now that you want to plug before we got to go?
Well, let's see. We will be working on a music video for the single here within the next few weeks. Like I said, the single should be out relatively soon. We'll be playing our first show in middle of January in Nashville, which obviously when that's ready to be put up, that'll be put up. But for now, it's just a lot of beginning process stuff, so there's only so much I can really say.
That's fair.
Not because I'm not allowed, but just because, you can only do so much in the beginning at once before you burn yourself out.
Yeah, you want to make sure,
realistically.
You want to make sure, that's taken care of before you start going on to all these different things. I get you. That's fair.
Exactly. But I hope within the next year that we're up in Jersey playing, because, that won't be a problem. It's just a matter of getting there and finding the right show at the right place with the promoters that I still know up there, and hopefully we will be coming up that way sooner than later.
Definitely keep me in the loop for the single.
I will.
Yeah, of course. And Zanies, do you know anybody, there or any performers there or anything?
Where at?
At Zanies.
I don't personally. I've
right.
always known of the place. You know what I mean? Like, it's just always been one of those staple places here in Nashville since as long as I can remember.
All right, well, I'll definitely look it up for sure. Like I said, just keep me in the loop with the single, and thank you, sir, for coming on, man. I really appreciate it.
Dude, it's been months coming, and I'm so stoked that you reminded me, because it's been a while since we had a chance to talk about it.
Oh, definitely.
Obviously, we talked about it like months ago, and things were a completely different place than they are now.
And I'm glad, everything.
I'm glad we caught up now.
I'm glad everything worked out the way it did, so this could all happen for you, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely, and best believe to keep in touch and keep you in the loop as the journey goes along, and
Definitely, man. But once again, thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it. This is Zack DuBois of The Sacred. I almost fucked up that name. Holy shit.
Don't even worry about it, man. I
really had to think. Zack DuBois, The Sacred, everybody, right here on the roundtable on HamiltonRadio.net channel HR2. Zack, it was a pleasure having you on, man. Thank you again.
It was my pleasure, buddy.
All right, thank you, man. Appreciate it. You have a good night, all right?
You too, man. Everyone have a good night as well.
All right, take care, brother.
Take care.
All right. And we are coming up at the end of the roundtable on HamiltonRadio.net channel HR2. Real quick, got a lot of stuff coming up for you guys as well. Tomorrow night, I will be in New York City at the Comic Strip on the show Joe Matarese and Friends. Make sure you come out. Tickets are $15 if you get them in advance, $20 at the door. You can get them through primetimecomedy.net. Make sure you do get them in advance or at the door if you feel like spending that extra $20, whatever. Joe Matarese from AGT will probably be there as well, so it's definitely going to be a fun show. Brett Singer is your host, Sherrod Simon is your headliner, and there's a lineup of killer comedians along with yours truly. Saturday, I have my AGT audition. Hoping Abby can come to that. Hoping Abe can come. But it's an audition that I'm really excited for. I actually put it off for a little while, just because, the process of it made me so nervous. But I finally did it. I'm going back to New York this Saturday to do that audition. And, yeah, we're going to have a lot of fun. There's a lot of stuff coming up on the round table as well. But, we're going to make those guests secret. I don't want you guys knowing too much. December shows, 12th, I have the Eagles Bar in Morristown, New Jersey. Shout out to Bob Parcell for giving me the chance to be on that show. I got Sheba Mason show, December 18th. Make sure you guys get your tickets on Eventbrite. They're $20. The Sheba Mason show, December 18th. The 19th, I got Character Flawed at Dangerfield's Comedy Club in NYC. You should definitely go there because that movie was in The Joker, and that movie deserves a fucking Oscar. I don't care what anybody says. Fuck the stairs. Fuck going to the Bronx stairs. Go to fucking Dangerfields, motherfucker. Character Flawed, 5 p.m. Once again, shout out to Bob DeBorno for giving me that spot. That is my second pro show, by the way. Just really quick, make sure we put that out there. A couple other shows might possibly be coming up as well, so make sure you stay tuned comedy-wise. Make sure you check my Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. But anyways, this is the end of the roundtable here on HamiltonRadio.net channel HR2. What a great show with Zack DuBois, The Sacred. We'll be back same time, same channel next week. Deuces.
You've got to be quick. You're not keeping up with me. You've got to be sick. I'm talking of a wild man in the Corming clan. It's like color of death on a Cheshire bed. You've got to be frightening. You make them fall to the knees while inciting. I'm talking of a barbaric ritual warning that is fight